today is your live posture focus upper body workout that you will do all 3 rounds with me. We'll do them together. I have one medium dumbbell and an elevated surface. So if you're in a gym, you can use a bench. If you have a bench, great. I'm using a folding chair, a dining room table, coffee table, a step. A stability ball even can work. And then you will want access to a wall. I will be turning my back on you and I apologize for that, but yeah, so just grab that equipment, have water handy. If at any point you have questions, drop them in the chat and I will do my best to answer them as we go. I will ask that you kind of try and count on your own instead of just following me so that you can hit the numbers we're aiming for. It gets a little difficult sometimes for me to talk and count, so I either go above or below depending on the day, but just keep that in mind. So while you're standing here, let's just start in some marches and warm up a little bit. Since we're going to go through these together, I'm going to jump right in and you guys are going to join me. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to use the wall and we're going to do some angel wings, okay? So keep marching here. Just warm up the body a little bit. In a minute, we're going to take it into some Frankensteins. Keep getting warmed up. Okay, just make sure you have that equipment handy. Okay, for the Frankensteins, we're going to go opposite arm to opposite leg, bringing them to meet in the middle, alternating sides. You do have the option to do this walking if you have the space, or just standing here alternating. No big deal. Okay, good. Now, from here, I'm going to have you go into some body weight squats. Yes, I know we are doing an upper body workout, so why the squats? Just helps get that heart rate up, get your body warm and lubricated. I'm going to do about 10 of them. Okay, and then we'll go into some arm circles, warm up the shoulders. And then I'm actually going to walk you through the first one as part of our warm up, just without the wall and without much of a concentration. Okay, so now we're going to go into some arm circles. Nice big arm circles first. 10 forward. And then we're going to go 10 backward. Okay, remember to be counting on your own. I don't think I quite did 10 going forward. And then little circles, so arms to shoulder height going forward. And then 10 backward. Okay. Now, keep going with some of those arm circles for me. What we're going to do is we're going to do a warm-up that will be very similar to what we're going to do on the wall first. You're going to bring your arms to goal pose. And I want you to squeeze the shoulder blades and elbows towards your rib cage. So those shoulder blades will kind of be at an angle, think just like this, where the tip of the shoulder blade is coming down and across to that opposite back pocket. And then I want you to reach up, let the shoulder blades roll open without letting the rib cage flare or the belly stick up. So again, from the side, nice athletic stance, ribs are over hips. Reach and squeeze, reach and squeeze. Okay, now keep going with that. Just keep doing that while I am talking here. Okay, now we're going to come to the wall and we're going to do some angel wings on the wall. Yes, I apologize. I will have my butt to you. Okay, but you are going to get as close to the wall as you can. And then we are going to actually keep palms together, elbows in contact with the wall. Okay. And you're going to slide your hands up and down in that same motion. So you're thinking about squeezing the shoulder blades down and across, and then letting them glide up and around the rib cage, keeping that core nice and tight. Okay, so join me now. You're gonna do 12 of them on your own. So again, keeping that nice engaged core, reach up, let the shoulder blades rise with you, and then squeeze down as you come down. Keeping the elbows and the wrists in contact with the wall the whole time. Engaging that core. Exhale, lift the pelvic floor, tighten the core, reaching up. Inhale. Exhale. Again, you're doing 12. Making sure that elbow stays in contact with the wall the entire time. If you are doing it right, you should feel it right through here, as well as reaching and stretching through those armpits and stretching through here. Okay, so squeezing down through that bra line, reaching through that armpit and serratus. Squeezing through that bra line, inhale, exhale, reach through the serratus. Okay, you can also try exhale, inhale as you reach, see what feels better. You're doing 12 of those, okay? Then from there, we're gonna go into an elevated scapula push-up. Okay, so you can do this from your chair. You can also use the wall if the chair feels too difficult. You can also come down to your knees. I'm gonna start here just to describe it, and then we're actually gonna try and do it from our toes. Okay, but you are gonna be shoulders over elbows, and then you are gonna lower your chest, again, thinking about the shoulder blades pinching together, and then exhale. You're gonna push away from the chair. Now, no rounding here, okay? You're thinking about inhaling, dropping your chest to the floor, exhaling, pushing away. Again, creating that push through here rather than trying to round your back. So we come up into this good tall plank, lower the chest, push away from the chair, lower the chest, push away from the chair. And it's not a movement with your head, okay? It's really trying to squeeze and lower that through the shoulder blades. Now, what that looks like from the wall, so you're still in that plank position, chest pushes towards the wall, and then push away. Squeeze the shoulder blades, push away, okay? You shouldn't feel anything up here. If you do, think about as you lower that chest and push away, that you're really thinking about all through here, making the movement happen, rather than as you lower the chest, letting your shoulders come up towards your elbows and then pushing away from that, okay? So really making sure, let's see if I can be a different angle. So over here, chest comes down as the shoulder blades at the bra line pinch together, and then push away from that bra line at your armpit, and then lower down and push away, okay? Now from here, we're gonna actually go into a seated shoulder press. So I'm gonna sit at the end of my chair. I'm not actually gonna be against the backrest. So you can even be this way, but nice and tall. Single arm, because we only have one dumbbell. It's also gonna challenge the core to have that single arm work. So I want you to make sure you don't lean away from it as you press up. 10, and then we're gonna switch. Core is engaged. Exhale, lift the pelvic floor, tighten the core, press. Again, ribs stay down, so if you want to put your thumb at the base of your rib cage, fingers at your hip bone, and make sure the distance between your thumb and finger do not change. 10, and then we're switching sides. Try and get that arm straight up overhead, bicep right next to the ear. Full extension at the top. let the shoulder blade move. So you should feel this in the back of that shoulder blade as you go. Let me just make sure nobody's trying to join our workout. Everybody's here, great. Okay, and then switching sides. So again, I'm far from the back of my chair. I'm truly at the edge. Ribs are over my hips. Hips are tucked if they need to be for that neutral pelvis. Really reaching. Again, make sure as you push, you're not leaning to one side. Use that shoulder, let it move. All of this, so far everything we've done is really helpful for holding your posture. Okay, the one thing that's not super awesome for a posture, believe it or not, is the hold your shoulders down and back, stand tall, okay? The way that we get there naturally is by strengthening the muscles that hold us in that position. So instead of walking around in this tense, tight position all the time, in order to achieve what we think is good posture, or even sitting in your chair trying to achieve this good posture, if we strengthen those muscles. So if you were to do that now with me, you're holding those shoulders back and down, you should be feeling the same area that we're working right now. So the idea is that between your core getting strong and holding you in that posture and working those muscles that hold you here, we are naturally strengthening that posture so that you don't have to think about it and you can stand nice and tall. Also, in pregnancy and postpartum, we wind up here a lot with baby. So if we can strengthen and support those muscles, we can stay tall and open. Okay, from here we're going into our single arm hammer curl. You can stay seated or you can come to standing, completely up to you. But palm faces in, not towards the ceiling. So our regular bicep curl is here. Hammer curl is gonna face the middle. 12, and then we'll switch sides. Now, this is where if you do have two dumbbells, feel free to use both of them. What I like about the single arm is even if you're standing, that core has to work a little bit harder to keep the balance since you don't have a weight on the other hand. Still exhale. Help keep that core engaged, making sure we're not swinging to make the curl happen. You're stopping the motion at the bottom of the movement. 12, and then you'll switch sides. Nothing changes. Feel free to sit down if you want to. Stability balls are great for some of this to help add a little bit more intensity to the core. So if you want to sit, but you want to challenge the core, try a stability ball versus like a folding chair. Again, no swinging, you're not getting the shoulder into it, nice and stationary. The only thing moving is right here. Once we do 12, we're actually going to switch and get the back of the arm. I know this seems super crazy to help with posture, but it is still an upper body workout. And as moms, if you think about all the times that we're in posture where it's important, we're holding things, we're doing and moving and picking up. So getting the back and the front of the arms can also be super helpful there. Okay, now we're going to go into a single arm tricep extension. So you have a couple options. You can come into it here on your own, or you can go and get a little bit of support from your elevated surface. Make sure, no matter which way you're doing it, that you're not letting this hip open. So the weight is currently in my left hand. My left hip should be square to the floor. Upper arm glued into that rib cage, full extension with the arm behind you. 12 before we switch. Okay. You will feel less core if you're supported here, more core if you do not use the elevated surface. So if you're here, you're gonna feel your core and challenge your abs a little bit more. Now, if this hurts your back, then maybe we still need to be a little bit supported. Okay? Notice that you can see the dumbbell come up, but I'm not cranking it way high. Just getting that full extension in the back of my arm. Good. Okay, awesome. Grab some water. I'm going to as well. Shake it out a minute. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm gonna catch our breath for a minute. We're gonna do it all over again. Okay, the next 2 rounds will go a lot quicker. You know what's coming, you know what to expect, and we can move through them a lot faster. Okay, so we're gonna go back to those angel wings on the wall. Remember, we're doing 12 of them, and you're trying to think about making the movement happen right in through here. Same thing with these. You don't want to feel it in your shoulders. I mean, your neck. So check that your shoulders are not creeping up as you do the movement. Okay, we've got 12 of them. You're as close to that wall as you can get. Ribs are over your hips. Reaching, letting the shoulder blades glide and pinch. Pinch on the way down, glide and open on the way up. Play with the inhale and exhale. See what feels good. Make sure that the back doesn't arch. The ribs don't flare as you reach up. Again, 12 of them. Keeping that reach as full as you can without letting any part of that forearm come off the wall. So if you're getting here and your elbows are off, we're going a little bit too high and outside that range of motion that feels good. Good. And then we're going to go into that elevated scat push-ups. Again, I'm going to go from the chair just so you guys can see it a little bit better, but feel free to use the wall as well, especially if this is a little bit too difficult. Being in this plank position can be quite an additional challenge. Okay, again, you can also come down to your knees. Just make sure you're in a good plank position from your knees as well. 12 of these. Think about lowering and pinching those shoulder blades down and away from the ear, pressing through the chair. It's a small range of motion, so there's not a lot happening here. And if you're feeling the neck, concentrate on bringing the shoulder blades to the opposite back pocket as you lower. Think about pushing through the armpit to get away from the chair. Okay, so just so you can see from the side, we're gonna go into that shoulder press. And you can see ribs stay down, nice and stacked. I'm not sitting back against the chair at all. Go ahead and add a stability ball for a little bit of an extra core challenge without standing. And then just make sure you're not leaning away from that dumbbell as you press up. 10 of these, especially because this should be a little bit heavier. Okay. But heavy enough, but not too heavy. You want the last 3 reps or so to be a challenge, but doable. So you feel like you can't quite get there without cheating maybe a little bit, then it's too heavy. If you feel like you're like, oh God, I know I can get there, but it's gonna be really hard, then you're at the right weight, okay? you're like cranking them out and you're like, I don't even feel this, definitely not the right way. Okay, again, core is nice and tight. Pressing, letting that shoulder blade, as you press up, the shoulder blade opens. As you lower, it comes back towards the spine, making sure that you're not letting it sneak up towards your ears. Okay, so we gotta learn how to let the shoulder blade move without cinching and shrugging. Only 10, and then you're gonna switch. Okay, and then we're gonna go to those hammer curls. I'm gonna stand for this, but feel free to stay seated. You're doing one arm at a time. Remember, palm faces your midline, not the ceiling. No momentum, no swinging. Now with this second round, because we're moving a little bit faster, because you know what to expect, you know how to do it now, heart rate should be staying elevated. Breathing should be staying elevated. You can hear I'm a little more winded, okay? When done correctly, strength training is cardio. And that also tells you that you're closer to an appropriate weight level. Okay, so same thing with these reps 10, 11, 12. You should feel like I am only one rep away from needing that momentum to help. But you can still do it without the momentum. That's the key. Maybe you need to take a little extra pause at the bottom before you do that last one. Okay, that would be good weight. Now, tricep extensions, okay? Again, if you're supporting yourself, it's a little bit more core. Make sure this hip is not opening, so it's staying square to the floor. This arm comes up, stays there as you extend for 12. So I also like focusing on one arm at a time because it really enables you to see any differences that you might feel between the two sides. Sometimes when we're doing both arms at the exact same time, you don't really notice if there's a difference. It also gives you a chance to see like maybe you're opening those hips a little too much on one side. That could be a sign that that side's a little bit weaker. And always we get the added bonus of the core being challenged slightly. Again, trying not to use any momentum on those either. Okay, awesome. So already done round 2. We've got our third and final round coming up, so grab a quick drink. I have my noon electrolytes. The heat is starting to creep up out there. So catch your breath, take a minute. All right, third round, if you've been doing it correctly, you are gonna feel a little bit fatigued. You are gonna feel like maybe if the last 3 reps of things in the first round weren't as difficult, they might be now. They should be now. Okay, so this is the round now. You know what's coming. You've done it twice. So now you really have to battle the fatigue and create the change in this round. So perfect form, powering through to really maintain that perfect form, using the breath, stay in control, and you've got this, okay? We're gonna start right into it with those wall angel wings. And again, as close to the wall as you can. Ribs are over hips. Letting those shoulder blades lift without shrugging. Pinching those shoulder blades to the opposite back pocket. Reach, pinch, reach, pinch. Now, if we've done it correctly as well, that core might actually feel a little bit tired. So it may be harder to keep the rib cage down. 12 of these. Almost there. You guys are doing really good. And that is the last time we're gonna see those today. So awesome job, okay? And then we're gonna into that elevated scap push-up. Again, nice, good plank. I don't wanna see butts in the air. I don't wanna see butts hanging down. Okay, shoulders over wrists. And watch for that shrug. You're thinking about pushing through the armpits, lowering from the shoulder blades, the points of the shoulder blades. Now, maybe in this third round, you might have to finish your last few reps from your knees, and that's okay. I would rather have you challenge yourself for as many reps as possible at that higher level, even if it's only one, and then do the rest from the slightly easier level. Okay? And then the next time you do this workout, your goal would be to do 2 at the harder level, the rest from the easier level, slowly progressing that way. So feel free to challenge yourself that way, especially if you're like, oh, I cannot do 12 reps at that higher level, but I know I can do a few, okay? Feel free, go for it. That's a good progression to work towards something harder. 10 each on these presses. Again, trying to get bicep right next to ear, full extension at the top without shrugging at the shoulder blade. Exhale to help you lift. Use that core for support. Okay, now the beauty of these shoulder presses is that you want to think about things like when you're reaching into your cabinets, that you're not reaching with your whole body, that you can really separate and reach through the armpit and shoulder. Okay, so that's where some of this also plays a big role in your posture. And how that looks is if those shoulders cannot move freely on the rib cage, then you're going to wind up in a really tight, poor posture just walking around. And it's as simple as things like reaching, holding a kid. If you're not letting those shoulder blades go free, you're going to create some problems down the road. We're in our last 2 exercises, 12 each, on hammer curls, controlling the swing, controlling the momentum, and you guys are done. I'm really proud of you for showing up. Don't forget to post about it in the challenge, tag your friends. Replay will be in the challenge, but also on YouTube. Now, what's fun is if you write down the weights that you did, or, elevated surface, which elevated surface you used, and then you come back to this workout next Tuesday, for example, and repeat it. What do the weights feel like today versus next time? Can you go higher? Can you do one more of the harder reps before bringing it down a notch? And so the more you write down things about your workout, and not just weight and rep, but, oh, it was hard, or I did 4 reps of the scap push-ups from my toes before dropping down, then you can see progress by watching how those notes change each time. Okay, so progress isn't just scale measurement, weight on a scale. Pictures are great too. Okay, but also writing down and repeating workouts. You can even make note tomorrow. Are you sore in certain areas? Are you thought you might be sore and you're not? All of those things matter to show you progress. And sometimes what I like to do actually is I will take a client through a workout that we did 3 years ago with the exact same weight, the exact same reps, and as many notes that I left myself as possible. And if it's really easy for them, I'll maybe just have them do 1 round and go, look what you can do now. And just show them how much progress we've made. I got 2 more, and then I am all done and out of here. That is your posture-focused upper body workout. Feel free to even do a 4th round if it feels right and good for you. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out and ask. You guys, we did it. You nailed it. Awesome job. I will see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your day.